everyone, this is Michelle Stinnett with Next Move Real Estate. I wanted to come to you tonight to share a couple of tips that I have found that's going to help us in our New Year's resolutions. So if you're like me, you haven't been very successful in the past. You make your New Year resolution and you have very good intentions, but you end up letting it fall to this wayside. Come to find out, we're not alone. 80% of people that set their New Year's resolution end up failing by the second week in February. Here are 7 tips that we can follow that's going to help us in getting to our New Year resolution goal. So tip number 1 is to research the information. Whether you're going to save money or lose weight, there's tons of information at our fingertips. Whether we choose to read a book, watch a video, or even take a course, people are more than willing to share their successes, so the information is out there to help us. Just remember that the information that we gather is not going to fit us perfectly. We don't fit in the same box as everyone else, so we need to keep that in mind when we're setting our goals. Tip number 2 is to write it down. If the goal is important to you, put it in writing. There's a Harvard University study that shows that 3% of MBA graduates that wrote down their goals 10 years later was 10 times more successful in earnings than the whole 97% of the class that was left. That's a big sum. Number 3 tip is to create a vision board. This might put us outside our comfort zone, but just keep in mind that doing something a little bit different by creating that vision board and being able to see the goals and the information that's around it into getting to that goal, that is going to help stimulate a different part of the brain, and that's going to cement your goal in your mind. The 4th step kind of goes along with that, and that's to visualize the goal. Not just visualize the actual goal, but actually visualize you reaching that goal. This will help you connect the dots into where you start and where you're going to finish. It will help you be successful. Tip number 5 is to make it simple. When thinking about this, you don't want to be too generic. You don't want to say, I just want to lose weight in the next year. That goal, whether you lose 1 pound or 5 pounds, you're setting yourself up for failure. You obviously want to lose more weight, but you have nothing to measure it by. You want to set rational, attainable goals. Make it something that you can measure. Instead of saying, I'm going to join the gym in 2019, instead say, I'm going to get fit by dedicating myself 2 nights a week to going to the gym. Start with that. Number 6 tip is to reevaluate regularly. Now this is key. You're setting a goal that maybe you have not ever done before and you're really wanting to meet it. If you're setting your goals and you want it to be challenging, but maybe you've set it too hard, you thought it was realistic but it wasn't, you're probably getting a little down because you're not meeting that goal. Does your goal need to be increased? Does it need to be decreased? If you feel like it's really too hard, you may need to evaluate that and reset your goal. Tip number 7 is to celebrate your successes. No matter how small or how large, your brain needs to know by you patting yourself on your back to make sure that you understand that you are making the small steps that you need to make your goal. This also helps your brain by celebrating to help you set up and program it for that continued success, because you know how it feels when you give yourself a kudos. Finally, let's look at one of the biggest reasons that we fail. We always want to blame our lack of willpower. From another study from Stanford University, we found that people perform better or worse depending on their mindset. So if they go into something saying that they're going to do better at it, they tended to do better at it than someone that went into the same situation and had a negative mindset. Staying positive and focused are keys to helping us succeed in our goals. I hope you found the tips very informational and helpful in setting your goals, your resolutions for 2019. Good luck to you and for all of us to have a prosperous and happy new year.